Oh my God. It is already, damn it, Tuesday. What happened to the weekend? I know what happened. The freaking time went up. So everything is speeding forward. But hey, hello everyone. We are here. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Pierce or Peach. I am the founder of I Am Me, and you are joining us for LGBTQ plus and Black, where we gets it all the way in. So before I just tell you what our topic is, please take a moment and share the live. Go wake up your homophobic friends. Tell them to tune in. Get your hubby up, get your girl up, your sis, whomever is around you, you get them up because we're about to talk about this dope ass topic that I think will be relatable to everyone. Um, Unlike the Valentine's Day edition, I heard that, we came so hard that people were kind of thrown off, but this one is more relatable and you will enjoy this. Um, so we are streaming it on multiple platforms, including mine. So if you are watching from my personal Peach ENT page, brace yourself. This has LGBTQ plus content. It's not graphic. It's for learning. It's a nonprofit show. So tonight's topic is why we leave. Why do LGBTQ plus people separate from family? It's not always y'all leaving us. Sometimes it's us leaving you. So I'm gonna bring on my panel. And panel, I want y'all to say hello, hello, hello. And
Hello.
every week, I remind everyone that the views that are shared here are all of our individual views. It has necessarily nothing to do with IME Inc. as a organization. There's a QR code in the corner. Please scan it. Go to imecorp.org if you're interested. We are a LGBTQ plus nonprofit and allies, meaning friends of the community. It's an educational space. We come together, we learn, we grow, and we build community, real community. All right, so panel, how are y'all doing tonight? How are y'all feeling? What's
Good,
going
good, good.
on? Are y'all
Fresh.
I'm
ready?
I'm
Been a
feeling
minute.
great.
Good, good.
Okay, y'all
Yeah,
I'm
feeling
ready for
great?
this week.
yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
been a minute.
Oh yeah, for Donna, it's been a minute.
Been
Whew.
sick, been traveling, everything.
Donna been on
Oh,
tour.
She
ah,
didn't
Donna
even hold
done had the
school.
grandchildren.
Yes.
Oh
listen,
yeah, I had the grandchildren. Yep,
Donna be doing a little bit of everything, y'all.
Yes,
everything.
A little bit of everything, honey. We
Every
can't
yes.
even keep up with Donna.
You look. If you Google "living my best life," a picture of Donna, like
Yep, with a cup of
it's
coffee.
gonna be on there.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay. So before we begin, panel, what do y'all think about this topic? Why we leave? We always talk about why our family leave us. Do y'all think it's a good idea to talk about why we leave them?
Absolutely,
Yep,
Absolutely.
absolutely. So
yep.
many of us do it. Like, yes, it's absolutely a good topic.
Okay, and do you think they really want to know why? Should we tell them?
Yep.
Yep.
Lay it all
Ab-
on the line.
Well, I'm a very, very outspoken person, so my
Me too.
family knows why. I ain't made no beans about it. My
Right.
Oh
family knows
boy.
why.
All
Yeah.
right. So I guess I could get into the clip first. Do y'all want to go there first or y'all want to
Yeah.
just jump on into these questions? All right. So Tim submitted a clip from a lady that I have absolutely no idea who she is, and I'm supposed to be LGBT everything, the all-knowing eye, and I don't. So I'm tonight admitting I have no clue. No
Uh-oh.
clue.
Uh-oh.
But let me play. What is her name again, y'all?
Miss Pat.
Miss Pat.
It's bad.
She is a stand-up
They about to take
comedian.
your black
She
card.
has the Miss Pat show on BET. She's been on multiple stand-up specials. Miss Pat is fire.
Oh, well, maybe I'll be in the ratchet section. I know who Shamara is.
Well, you should know who Miss Pat is, because Miss Pat hands down is she ratchet. She's real. She's real. You got a neighbor like her. It's somebody like Miss Pat in every black neighborhood.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm gonna play this clip, and like I said, for those of y'all that is tuning in on my Peach ENT pages, head on over to I Am Me Inc. 234 on YouTube if you're interested in watching the rest of this show, because I will cut that channel off. All right, so let me play this video, and then we're gonna get into the question and answer segment portion of it.
Okay.
So let's show Miss Pat. Hold on, Miss Pat. Let me play you.
I would say this to parents, and I say this every night on stage. You know, when your child, don't get caught up in the Bible and lose the person that you love, because that's what will happen if you truly think about if we all serving the same God. You gotta ask, did God love you through your sins? And who the fuck know if this even a sin? We don't really know the rules of the world or the rules of the Bible. This shit was wrote by a couple white men and a dog. Who say they didn't get it wrong? We won't really know until we see if God is real and we one day in front of him. But until that day come, I say this to all parents. If your child is gay, then respect who they are and support who they are. Because a lot of time, you don't know what the fuck you're killing. You could be killing the fashion designer, a movie director. You could be killing the president. You don't know what you are killing when you got that child because of the sexuality that you don't like. That child gonna have to come back one day and maybe have to take care of you. But you sitting here because you say God don't love gay people. All them motherfucker had on white wigs back in the day. Some of them people with them wooden teeth and white wigs might be in heaven when you get there if heaven is real. So I say this to any parents that's listening and who think that their child is gay. 9 times out of 10, your child is gay. And from one gay parent to another, I will ask you to support who that child is. And instead of putting gasoline on that flower, water that flower so it can grow.
Yep.
And that's what I would say as a parent. Because as a black community, when it come down to sexuality and being gay, we probably some of the worst communities when it come down to that. You know, we taught the black man he can't cry, which he should be able to cry. We taught the black man he can't be gay, the black woman, you can't be happy, all of that bullshit. And as a community, when do it stop? When do we say as a parent, it's time to support who you are, not what I want you to be? I would say this to parents, and I say this every night on stage.
All right, panel, what y'all think about that video? I'm gonna pull each one of y'all up, and y'all could tell me what y'all perspective is, what you took away from it, or your thoughts about it. All right, so I'm gonna go with Donna first, because you need to get back in the water, Donna. We ain't seen you.
No, she raw, real and funny at the same time, but she's telling the truth. You know, especially with our community, we are our worst enemies when it comes to like especially with the men being gay. Other black men that like I said, ain't no such thing as straight, but you know, it's just bad. It's bad. We all need to come together. We as a community, it don't matter. We all human at the end of the game. We all human. It don't matter who you sleep with, what your sexuality is, who you want to be with. We all human. We on this earth for one reason, to live and enjoy life. So she real. I like her. I gotta follow her.
Oh, thank you, Donna. All right, Tim, what you think about it?
What I think about, I think she 100% hit the nail directly on the head. And what she's saying is, she's not saying that accept everything that your child chooses to indulge in when they come out to you. That's still your household, and that child still has to respect your wishes in your household. So we're not saying that, if you bore a son and then he starts coming home in women's clothes, that you have to accept that. But you have to sit down with your child. You have to set boundaries, but still let that child, that boy, that little girl be who they are. You know what I'm saying? It's a level of respect that needs to be maintained. We're not saying because your child is gay, let them to do every gay thing that they choose to indulge in. It's just not, like she said, you got to water a flower in order for it to grow. You can't pour gasoline on it and expect anything healthy to come out of that situation. You also have to realize what your children have to endure every day out in the world. The one person or two people that they expect to come home to and get some type of comfort and solace is their parents. You know what I'm saying? And if you're damning them and you're throwing them to hell just like the rest of the world, that puts your child in a very compromising position. Who can I trust? If I can't trust my family, if I can't go to my mother, if I can't go to my father, who can I go to? Because those are the people that we traditionally normally go to in a functional, healthy family. I love Miss Pat.
Thank you, Tim. Dre, you ready?
Oh yeah. For me, what stood out was, like she said, you don't know who you're killing. When, as a parent, when your child does not have your full support, it shuts them down. It completely shuts them down, because if I can't get your support on who I love, then what am I going to get your support on? I can't be what you want me to be. And there are so many families who have killed innocent people because they're not who they want them to be. They're not the son that wants to play ball. They're not the daughter who, likes double dutch. They are them unique individual selves, and they're themselves unapologetically. And so I feel that Miss Pat hit the nail on the head, and because she shares her testimony of how she had to learn the LGBTQ lifestyle, I support Miss Pat hands down. I love her shows. I love her stage presence, her comedy, because she tells real life stories through comedy to make people laugh. She shares her own business, what she's been through as an individual, but she's an ally that I feel we need in the LGBTQ community, because at the end of the day, she stands 10 toes down on whatever comes out her mouth.
Oh, thank you, Dre. If you are watching, feel free to drop your questions in the comment section, and we are willing to answer. And at the end of the show, I will put the link in the chat if you're brave enough to come up here with us fabulous people, diverse people. But you got to come correct, because we're gonna chew you up. But I love the clip. So now I'm gonna have to become a Miss Pat fan. But I agree with everything everyone said. The only thing that I did not like, and it's not necessarily against her, it's just, the world in general. People cry. Everyone cry. To cry as a man is not a gay thing. To overly laugh as a man is not a gay thing. To be a masculine center woman is not a gay thing. You could be a straight tomboy. So I think we need to let go some of these gender roles, right? So that's the only thing. Stop assigning emotions to people's sexuality. I just don't like it. I don't like that portion. But yeah, but overall, I will be trying to find Miss Pat. Y'all done swayed me over to kind of check out Miss Pat. I get out the ratchet section looking at Shamar. Because I can't wait to see what he gonna say. I ran, but either way.
Because we are the United States of America. And if you don't know, you know.
Yeah, we not scared. And listen, and if you are heterosexual watching this, Shamar is not the entire LGBTQ plus experience. Please don't judge based off of that man. Please
Oh,
don't.
mm-mm.
All right, so let's get into these questions. And if you gotta cry, cry, because again, emotions here. This is a safe space, and in the audience, if you gotta cry, cry. So the first question is it selfish or dangerous for LGBTQ people to separate from family that doesn't accept them? Is it selfish or dangerous to just walk away? Now, at this moment, I'm gonna shut down some of these channels, get over to I Am Me Inc. 234 if you want to continue to watch. But yeah, is it selfish to walk away? I'm gonna go with Donna first. Is it selfish or dangerous to walk away?
It could be both. I mean, in my situation, as far as like with I never knew my father, so I didn't have no father growing up. It was just my mom. She raised me and my brother. Um, but to be selfish and walk away because people don't respect who you are. Um, your your parents might not they won't deal with how you come out or come out to them. So sometimes you just have to like step aside and just say, hey, I gotta do what I gotta do best for me. So I don't think it's selfish or dangerous. I just think it's something that you have to do. I mean, why would you not live your life and come out and be you to satisfy other people? I just feel that I don't think it's dangerous. I mean, I don't think I think it's dangerous because some families do throw you out in the street and you got to fend for yourself. A lot of people are homeless, so that part might be dangerous because if you're on the street and you don't have no way to fend for yourself and you're a teenager and you don't have nobody to turn to. Most teenagers, they turn to prostitution, drugs, just then they look for gangs. There's just a lot of things that they do to not be in that situation with their parents. But selfish, you got to do what you got to do as a you have to do what you have to do to be yourself. You can't like just let other people rule your life and you do what they want you to do because they can't accept you. So I just think it could be both. To me, it could be both.
Thank you, Donna.
Hmm.
Tim, you up next.
Well, me personally, I don't think it's selfish. Um, After a while, you get tired of getting hit over the head with a bat, regardless what you do. Um, and you actually have to step out on your own to get away from that oppression. Dangerous, yes, I think it's very dangerous because with us already carrying the trauma that comes from the lack of acceptance from the people that we feel the most attachments to, the people that we feel that should support us. A lot of times when young LGBTQ people go out into the world, we don't realize that there are so many different forms of predators out here that are waiting for us. There are a lot of predators out here that are waiting on your kids when you toss them out in the street. And the direction that your kids go after that really depends on what groups of people that they attach themselves to when they get out there on their own. And there are people who are waiting on young kids who have been destroyed by their families. And it's so easy to push them into drugs. It's so easy to push them into prostitution,
Hmm.
forms of bondage. You don't realize what is out here waiting on your kids when you toss them out your door. I was thrown out in the street at 13. So my grandmother was my savior. She kept me until I was old enough to get out into the world and fend for myself. But a lot of young kids don't have that one person that's willing to support them and shield them until they're strong enough to stand on their own. So you have young kids put in adult situations. They have to make adult situations. They have to figure out how they're going to live. They're going to have to figure out how they're going to eat. And shiny things look really good to young kids. You know, when they see that money and they see those cars and they see those clothes, they automatically gravitate, you know, and they gravitate into things that turn them into different people than they were raised to be, you know. And addictions are something that are really prevalent for young kids that venture out into the lifestyle by themselves. They get turned on to the party scene, and you know, they start them off with marijuana, and then there's cocaine, and then after cocaine there's so many different avenues that they can go. And you know, when your child comes back to you, you're looking stupid, like you didn't raise them like that, but you don't realize what you sent them out in the world into when you threw them out your door. So dangerous, yes, very dangerous.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tim.
And
All
don't
right.
forget suicide also. That's another thing, dangerous.
Yeah.
Some people aren't strong; they can't take it. And yeah, suicide is a major thing. And since the pandemic, like suicide numbers have like tripled.
Sick.
Wow. All right. Dre, you up. You still have something to say, Tim?
No,
Okay. Dre.
that was my answer.
Tim actually stole my answer. Don't let him fool y'all. We discussed this, and he told me to send him my transcript of the show would answer his question. Now,
Shame on
but
you,
yeah,
Tim.
I mean, it's not wrong for a child to leave, but depending on the age and the maturity level of the child, dangerous for sure. Like Tim said, everybody doesn't have a shoulder to lean on if they leave home. And truthfully, a lot of our younger people in the community are struggling for that exact reason. I don't get accepted at home. I'm disrespected consistently, and now I'm out here. And unfortunately, we don't have the gay houses like we used to, where you had the gay mom and the gay dad that actually did honor you and love you. Nowadays, their whole thing is let me, I'm going to have you be a part of what I do. And unfortunately, many of our young people are exposed to things way too early in age that their maturity level can't handle. And now I have an addiction because I allowed myself to be exposed. And it's not even just in the gay community, even in the straight community. These young people that are leaving home, they hang with the older people, and then they become a part of what the older people do. And that's why we have so many young drug addicts and so many young alcoholics in the streets today. It ain't because they smoke weed; it's because they didn't did everything else with the weed. It ain't because they just have a drink; it's because I don't know how to put the bottle down. And so they now become older, and they lose out on life because at the end of the day, they can never succeed living a life where I have to be dependent on a chemical just to survive. This chemical erases how I feel. I don't want to accept how I feel. I can't look in the mirror at myself. I can't honor who I am. I can't honor the good traits about me because I cannot survive without chemical dependency. Whether it be weed, whether it be alcohol, whether it be fentanyl, whether it be pills, e-pills, these things are running ragged, especially in our community, because all our people know is party, 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 because it stops them from having to place that mirror in front of themselves and say, yo, I need to get my shit together because I've been doing this for too long.
Wow. Thank you, Dre.
Yep.
All right. So we still are on these multiple channels, and I will shut it off as it get juicy. So please head over to IME Inc. 234 on YouTube if you want to continue in this discussion. But I am going to answer this question and then click off channels and then go to the next one. So for me, I do not believe that is selfish. I think everybody needs to self-preserve at some point. It becomes dangerous for anyone, any age group, if you don't have resources. Y'all know my thing. You got to have a bag. You got to be able to finance your lifestyle. So when you go embark on whatever it is that you're disagreeing with your family about, you need a bag, you need resources. And if you don't have it, it's automatically dangerous. And then you go into survival mode, and then you go into door number 1, 2, 3, 4. And that door could lead to suicide. That door could lead to HIV. That door could lead into you getting harmed and raped. That door could possibly be positive when you run into a nonprofit like I Am Me that loves you. It's just so many scenarios that can happen when survival mode. You could be homeless. Anything can happen. So it's very dangerous. And to anyone that's watching that has a family member that's a part of the community, and you are thinking, I got to do something to try to control or stop them, remember, resources to live. If you don't want them there, try to get them some resources. Have that much love in your heart and courage to stand up against everybody else that's against that person, to at least get them the resources to live, so they don't have to experience so many things that some LGBT people or us have to deal with, and it's a lot. So that is, my answer.
Yeah.
Now, again, if you're watching, head over to I Am Me Inc. 234. I'm shutting down some channels. So my next question: have you ever had to walk away from family, no matter what it looks like, chosen family, immediate family, your children, to be who you are? Have you ever think about that? Because that question right there is a loaded one, I know. So Tim done disappeared. I was gonna pick Tim, so I'm gonna have to roll with Donna first. Have you ever had to walk away from anything?
No, I didn't. Like I said, it was just my mom and my brother. My family embraced me. My family was open to me even being who I was. I never had to walk away from anybody in my family. Thank God. I guess I got lucky to have the best family in the world. So no, I can't even answer that question because I haven't. No, it don't pertain to me. I never had to walk away from anybody. Never.
You
Sorry.
are so fortunate. And but
Yes.
no, they ain't no sorry. That's good. That's positive.
Yeah.
Okay. That's very, very
I
positive.
had a small family, and my like I said, my cousins mostly were all girls. Um, like I said, even when my mom had a boyfriend, and he knew he embraced me. I didn't have to go through all that in life. Thank God.
Wow. All
Yeah.
right, Dre. Thank you, Donna. Dre. Come on, Dre. Tell me. Did you have to walk away?
Not because of who I am. I've walked away, especially in our family. And I walked away from some friends, but it had nothing to do with my lifestyle. It was more because I have this thing that when you get older, there's a chosen path for you that everybody can't travel. And so many people assumed the reason I stopped dealing with them was because I entered into a lifestyle that I became comfortable with, understanding that this is what I was meant to be. But it had nothing to do with my lifestyle. It had everything to do with my lifestyle as far as where I was going. Where I was going, I knew they couldn't be a part of that because they were too busy stuck on where I was. And they didn't understand that I'm not that person anymore. And because I'm not that person, I refuse to allow you to hold me accountable to who you remember me as.
Mm.
All right now. All right now. All right, Tim, you ready?
My phone went out because it was getting hot, so I
All right.
missed the question. I literally just popped back in. What
Okay.
was the question?
So the question is, did you have to walk away from family, no matter what the structure is, chosen family, friends, immediate family, your children, anything to be who you are?
All of the above.
Wow.
Um, well, I was raised in a household. Number one, my mother didn't discuss anything. She said what she said, and that was it. So I didn't grow up in a household where we really discussed our emotions. Our emotions and our disposition wasn't really considered. Um, so and then I was the only male. So for me, my mother was extremely. She was really concerned about what everybody thought. She was really concerned about appearances and things of that nature. So I wasn't allowed to show anything that wasn't the stern masculine image. So I was never like a really like extremely flamboyant person, but I was never able to I wasn't able to explore many things about myself until after I stepped out on my own and I got away from my family. And when I got away from my family, like I moved to another state and started over. And it was good because I got a chance to heal from being constantly bombarded about who I should be, who I was allowed to be, what I was allowed to do, what I wasn't allowed to do. Nobody wanted to hear anything. It's just you were born a man, and this is what you're going to be, and this is who you are, and that's it. Had I not gotten away from my family, I wouldn't have got a chance to heal from those traumas. That constantly getting hit over the head with a bat over anything that's indifferent, it has an effect on you after a while. So yeah, it was very necessary for me to get away from and then a lot of my friends, when you lose your family and you lose your friend, a large portion of your friends, when you lose all of that all at one time, it's really traumatic. It's something that a lot of people who haven't experienced somebody who haven't experienced it is something that you couldn't fathom unless you were in that situation with that type of heartbreak and dealing with those type of pressures. So I think I would have been a much different person if I never got away and got a chance to deal with the things that happened to me and heal from them and develop a life that was comfortable for me without the constant judgment, without the constant slurs and slanders, without the exclusion, without not wanting to be included, never being supported. So yeah, I think it's extremely relevant for your mental and for your mental, most importantly, to be able to get into a space where you can heal and grow. Because a lot of times in those family situations, you're demonized. Everything is wrong with you, and there are people around you doing much worse. But gay is the worst. Gay is the worst thing in black families. You can have a brother that's an addict, you can have a sister that's a prostitute, all of us bad. But gay that's just that one thing that just it, we not accepting that. So yeah, I think it's very necessary. That's my answer.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tim. Wow. Well, powerful responses. So for me to answer this question, yes, I walked away from a whole entire marriage to be who I wanted to be. And like Tim said, when you decide to leave, it's like you're ripping your whole life in shreds. Everything that you depended on, everybody that you thought loved you, you just see a whole different side. You see people go off to the left and act like they don't know you. They go off to the right and then sometimes they come back around, but you done, like Tim said, you done healed yourself and got used to that, but you don't have the capacity to deal with those people anymore. But I left a whole marriage. And the funny part about all of this is, in my mind, because we were married so long and we had been together so long, I thought that he would accept me and our relationship dynamic would change. But it didn't. We couldn't even be friends. We couldn't even be associates because of it. And the ugly part about all of this is I still have attraction to men. I'm pansexual. So it's not like I just jumped out of it and said, I'm just this flaming lesbian, you know. But he couldn't rationalize me being with a lesbian. And he couldn't rationalize that I could even be with him because he didn't want to rationalize my sexuality, period. So, yes, I had to walk away. And at the moment, I had 3 children. Thank God, you know, our children, these children born in the 90s, they are nothing like we are. They already there. Like they already get it. They already understand fluidity and you know and your orientation and your life experiences. So that wasn't the hard part. It was just the separation of the ex-husband, the in-laws, like no one, they just treated me like a pariah, like she has some foreign disease that's just gonna kill all of us.
Mm.
And so, but I am healed. I think at that moment that I left, I felt much better. I felt like I had more space to breathe and become.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I'm here today. I have a nonprofit helping other people to become, and I'm talking to y'all. So I've fully evolved and I'm helping other people to evolve. So I'm happy about that. So that is my answer to that question.
Wow.
All right. So if you are watching and you have questions, please feel free to drop it in the chat. Don't be scared. And if you don't want to drop it in the chat, I will drop the link a little later for you to come up and ask your questions. Now, please, mind you, have these questions, write it out to yourself, read it to see if it sounds offensive, because I would hate for you to get read for filth on a live stream.
All right.
All right.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, listen, I'm just warning people.
Yeah. Can't say we didn't.
So I guess the next question would be probably for I already answered it. So I'll just ask Tim, how's your mental health at this moment in time, since we are the ones that had the losses? You know, we walked away for, you know, our happiness. How's your mental health?
It's extremely healthy now because my life is on my terms. You know, I'm no longer seeking any type of acceptance or acknowledgement from my family. I realized at 50, going on 51, that this is just it. You know, my family chose to miss out on pretty much my entire life because they couldn't accept, you know, how I am and who I am. You know, and the sad part about it is I was thrown to the wolves at a young age. You know, I was molested. You know, it wasn't like some people say that they feel like they were born this way. I feel like if men and women weren't preying on me from 5 to 10 years old, that maybe my preferences would be different. I think when you introduce things into a child's mind and into a child's presence, long before that they're even geared to even be thinking about sex. I think it causes a disruption, and the pedophiles were protected and I was demonized. And that happens so frequently in Black families. They just don't want anybody to know. So you're taking a child that was a victim and then torturing them their entire life for things that you didn't protect them from. And that's normal. That's normal. And in all cultures, but Black culture especially, they will hide the predator and demonize the child. And that's sick and that's sad. That's my answer.
Thank you, Tim. Donna and Dre, did y'all want to add on to that?
I actually want to jump right here to the question that just came from a viewer. I have a teenager who mother and father have kicked him out because he came out. He's 17. What is the best advice or resources to give him? The best thing I can say is for him to get around people who love him. While I know that DFS and even sometimes social services will place you in a temporary environment, find you some people who love you for who you are and love you for who they know you can become. But also find you some people who are going to hold you accountable. Don't find your crew that's going to keep you tied up in a bunch of foolishness, because people will play on the fact that they know that while you're depressed, they can easily manipulate you. I deal with it every day, of dealing with a person who was manipulated because people understood their low self-esteem. So don't allow people to manipulate you, but find you somebody who's going to hold you accountable and love the hell out of you, just for being you unapologetically. You don't have to apologize for who you are. And as you continue to grow, I don't know if you're out of school or not, but as you continue to grow, realize that what you accomplish, you are accomplishing for you and you alone. And go after every dream head on. Ride this thing till the wheels fall off.
Thank you, Dre. Anybody else? Tim?
I would say to that 17-year-old, try to find organizations in your area. A lot of organizations, and I mean, Philly has a lot to offer. The major cities have a lot to offer. If you're in a smaller area, it's really, really hard to find organizations, but find something too, even if it's not one in your city. Find an organization that's close to you in your area and link with people in those organizations, because you have more of a chance of being pushed in a positive direction. Me personally, I ran straight to the worst of the worst. I ran to the club scene and the ballroom scene, and there are a lot of people that are waiting for your kids to introduce your kids to things that eventually destroy their life. In the ballroom scene, some of those houses are very healthy. They're like families, they're like fraternities. But in the ballroom scene, you also have other houses that are like gangs. And those are more so the ones that will push the kids into drugs and then into prostitution and doing ads and things of that nature. And if that's how you choose to make it, I'm not saying that you're wrong. If that's where you feel you fit in the most, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that you're putting yourself in harm's way a lot quicker. I know you want the camaraderie. You want to be around people that have experienced the same thing as you, people who have had the same traumas as you, because they understand. But you have to realize that every smile is not a friend, and everything that's shiny and glittery isn't something positive. It's not gold, a pot of gold on the other side of those things. On the other side of those things are lifelong addictions, more mental trauma, So just be selective of what you get into. I know, I mean, as a kid, as a young adult, you want to be accepted, but just be wary about where you choose to go for your initial acceptance, because that could be the doorway to a lot of things that are going to damage you in the future.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tim. Dre. Donna, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want you said 17-year-old, his father and mother, is it a male or female that got don't
It's a male that
It's
got
a
put out.
male.
oh, I wanted to know if they had any other family members that they can rely on besides, like aunts, uncles, older siblings that they can go and live with them. Because them streets are not, it's not good, especially 17-year-old. They still developing, they still learning, and hopefully, if they put out on the street, they probably not finishing school. They not probably, because they don't, so I was just wondering if they had like other family members that would take them in. That's if that's all I wanted to know, if they had that type of help, because the streets ain't not for them. It's not a good look. Um, that's all I wanted to know, if they had any other family members.
Okay. Dre.
Two things: get you a good counselor, a good therapist, somebody you can vent to, and don't have to worry about it going all over the place. And if you're fortunate enough, find you a big brother that will guide you, a mentor that will guide you to a positive step and to a positive place. You got goals to reach, bro. And I don't want you to feel, and I don't know why I'm late. I'm being led this way, but I don't want you to feel like this is your fault. It's not your
Never.
fault. So you grab hold to your dreams. You grab hold to everything you said you're going to be, and just become it. Don't look back. If it's meant to be mended, it will be mended. And I'm telling you what I know. If it's meant to be mended, it will be mended. But you can't put your life on hold. You can't blame you, because that's going to put you in a position that you're going to want to take yourself out. So get you someone to talk to, that you can vent to, that you don't have to stress about. Oh my God, how they gonna take it? Even when, like Donna said, reach out to some family, but be 100%. My mom and dad said I gotta go. Ooh, smack you. That's why I was led that way. My mom and dad said I had to go because they can't handle this about me. And that last comment, smack, I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone because I'm real strong about that atmosphere. And unfortunately, these are the hypocritical leaders we've chosen of today. Don't even let this ruin your relationship, sir. What I read said the Holy Ghost is a gentleman. I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Trey. Oh man. So my advice would be, the first thing is to, for a moment, just understand that you are awesome. You are loved. You are worthy. And I need you to get that esteem together. Don't let nobody, your mother, your father, the cat, the dog, or anybody try to dictate who you are, because you are who you are and you already claimed it when you came out, right? So we understand that. But I'm also very reasonable. I'm a reasonable thinking person. I'm rational. You can be gay, you can be straight, you can be whatever it is you want to be, but you have to be together. You have to have your life together to be that, whatever it is you decide. So, my advice to you is, first, find shelter. Shelter will give you stability. Okay. get stability. Like Dre said, get some counseling, get a hold of some resources, get involved with some nonprofits or whatever. Find out what you exactly want to do in life, become that, do that, and be the best LGBTQ person that you could be. That is my advice to you. You can't do anything. I don't care what it is. I don't shit. It costs money to be heterosexual.
What's that?
So
What
it's
is
gonna cost
heterosexual?
money to be LGBTQ plus. So get your
Uh,
life,
uh,
get
Peach,
yourself a foundation.
Peach, stop saying them cuss words on this show.
Get you a foundation, and then the rest will fall into place. Just be a great human first that's able to take care of yourself, and then worry about your love life. That's my advice to you. Because once you have everything that you need and you're financially secure, and I'm going to cuss because I'm going to tell you this because that's the way I went. I could give a fuck what you say because you don't finance my life and you can't take shit from me. All you can do is be mad
Correct.
as I sit in my dollhouse. So get your life together. That's my answer to that one. Smack said he said thank you. He said they keep trying to make him go back home.
Who is
Hey,
they?
who?
Is that the other family members? And 9 out of 10, it probably is. It may be even the ones who decided to tell them to get out. But find the resources.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
it's too toxic, don't go back into a toxic environment because all that's going to do is just devour you.
Yep.
Go where you can grow. Again, you got to get stability, and then you can become whatever it is you're trying to become, profession wise, and then sexuality wise, and then it just all falls into place. Oh, DFS.
That sounds like them. Get you some other resources. Reach out to IME.
Yeah, reach out. We got your back. We're here to talk. Oh, since we talking about this, I guess I could say this right now.
Oh,
I guess I could say this right
I
now.
you
guess
can. Let it
I
out.
am me. We are changing the direction of the nonprofit, and it's because of the voices like tonight, the young man that's 17, and multiple other people within the community. We love the education piece, but now we're venturing off to building a fund called the Rainbow Fund that we're working on so that we can help people that are in need. So look out for that. All the proceeds of these events and everything will be stored into that, and then hopefully we can actually financially impact some lives. So, but we're working on it. All right, so let's go to our next question. Why do our shows always get deep like this? What is happening?
Y'all fault.
Because we're talking about real things.
Well, at least nobody's
We're talking
pulling
about
their
real things.
hair out tonight.
Right. Especially when it comes to
I thought
teenagers and
Tim,
kids.
yeah, listen, I thought Tim was gonna rear us over to this damn map area. I just felt the map just kind of trying to slide into this episode. I'm like, no, go back over there,
Not
map.
tonight. Not
You
tonight.
rebuke that thoughts.
Them people ain't ready for that. These people not ready for that.
I ain't ready.
I ain't ready for that no more.
Me. All right.
If it ain't on my GPS, I won't discuss it.
Oh my God. So the next question. Should you stay in a marriage for the kids, even if you're living a lie?
Oh, can I go
That's
first?
all.
Dre, you can go ahead on and go first. Dre, like, I want to go first. I
Oh,
got
let
so
me
much
go
to
first.
say.
Oh, you selfish son of a bitch. Um, no, 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 no. I'm gonna tell you why I say that. You are causing a time bomb to be developed by doing that. It ain't even got nothing to do with the kids. That is the most selfish BS I have ever heard in my life. You are causing unnecessary hurt. You are causing unnecessary drama. You are putting on a whole fictitious lie. And you're going to be accepted no matter what. I'm going to say if you're already a loving parent and you're already a person who is handling yours and you are taking care of yours, them kids going to love you regardless. I don't care what the ex do. But for you to try to make something work and put this fictitious, fraudulent Bollywood scene on in your home is not only trifling, it is not only disrespectful, but it is doing your kids a disservice. No, no, no. Come out the closet, Aura. No.
Oprah, come out.
Oh, right.
I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Tim.
There are healthy ways to co-parent without continuing that lie. Um, Not just in marriages where one happens to have LGBT feelings. Uh, just any marriage. There are ways to. I know couples that they no longer sleep in the same bedroom, but they're in the same household. The kids still have access to both parents. They're still co-parenting. They're just not together. There are ways to still do a healthy service and still have both parents there for the kids and not have to live a lie. Now, am I saying that mom should bring her girlfriend home or dad should bring his boyfriend home? Absolutely not. But there are ways to co-parent and still give your children that healthy unit without living a lie. The thing is if your spouse is mature enough to agree to do that. That's the huge question mark. But that living a lie thing is it. I agree with Dre 100%. It's just a time bomb that's just ticking and swelling, and when it explodes, the damage that you try to protect the kids from, it gets intensified by 3, 4, 5 times. That's my answer.
Thank you, Tim. Donna.
So can you give me the question again about because I thought you because I had
Sure.
to say I was saying that didn't pertain to me, but I guess I could just talk about it a little bit. But go
Should you
ahead.
stay in a marriage for the kids, even if you're living a lie?
No, I for me, I don't think you. No, I don't think you should stay in a marriage. Just for the kids. Sorry, especially it depends on their age too. They could be older, they could be younger, but I mean, I feel that no, I don't think Yeah, you love your kids, but you also gotta love yourself and look out for yourself. I wouldn't stay in a marriage. Um, we would co-parent. I would get my own spot. They get their own spot, and we co-parent. But to stay in a marriage that is, that makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. You have to continue with your life and live your life. Because when your kids get older, y- they're gonna live their life. So, and it, like I said, it depends on the ages of the children too. But no, I'm not staying in nothing that don't benefit me, and I'm not happy. And we're gonna have to co-parent, but I'm gonna get my own place. You get your own place, and we're gonna get divorced. Sorry, I'm not staying in nothing like that. Sorry,
Thank you, Donna.
being real, I'm not.
Oh, okay. So I guess this one is left up to the person that was in a marriage with
Oh yeah,
children.
yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I think it has more to do with your orientation, like whatever your identity is. I think if you're a lesbian, of course not. If you're a gay man, of course not. Don't stay. But if you have a sexuality where you like both genders, then you can work it. You could potentially save that marriage because it's not like you're in there and you're dying because you like the
What you like?
opposite sex, you like the same sex. It's just a matter for me if you can work it out. And in my case, eventually I couldn't work it out and I fell in love with a woman. So but yes,
Yeah,
that is my answer. It depends. It depends on your orientation. You
right.
know, if you gay, of course, get the hell out of there. What's
Mhm.
the point? If you're a lesbian, get the hell out. If you're going to transition and your person is not going to be with it, get the hell out. But if you
Exactly.
pansexual, figure it out. Figure out how you feel emotionally. Bisexual, figure out how you feel emotionally. Tim, come on up.
Um, I can feel this question being asked in homes of people who are viewing the show. Well, if you know that you're not heterosexual, why would you enter into a marriage? A lot of us are pressured into marriage because it's what is uh, the social norm. Some people get into marriages thinking that they can maintain, and as they get it further into that marriage, they realize that they can't do without the other thing, or they are living a lie because their life is incomplete without the other thing. So, I'm the philosopher. I always think of things from more than one point of view. I can just imagine myself as a viewer watching this show and people saying, well, if you know that you have these other attractions, why would you even get into a marriage? So that's just touching on how some people who have multiple attractions end up in marriages. It's pressure to maintain the social norms.
Thank you, Tim. I'ma just add on to that because that was an excellent and then the other Donna and Dre, if y'all want to chime in. But listen, if you ask if I have multiple attractions, in which I do, why did I get into a marriage? Because I love that person. Just because you have multiple attractions don't mean you love everybody all at the same damn time.
Same time.
you
Yeah.
it's just like you. It's if you're heterosexual, there's multiple women in the world. You zeroed in on one. The difference with us and you is we have more options. So there could be a gorgeous man, a gorgeous woman, and it's about whoever I like the best. I like you the best. So I might love you more and want to get married to you. And then if we work out, it has absolutely nothing to do with my fucking my sexual preference. It has nothing to do with that. It's
Right.
everything to do with you and me and how our bond is. So I hope I answered whomever in La La Land will watch this now or later question about
Yeah, but
people with multiple attractions. Go
but
ahead, Don.
since I came out being a lesbian at 24, I wasn't getting married to no man anyway, so my situation wasn't even about marriage. But some people come out and they know their sexuality, they're not going to get less is pressured by family or whatever, or they just trying to hide something. But I would never get married. I wouldn't. Yeah, I'm not gonna get married just to get married to a man because I know I'm not attracted to a man. A man.
I don't know, Don. I can see you rocking that wedding dress. Boy, I can see. I'm sorry.
It better be the color purple too. Funny
Oh
Teddy. I'm gonna
Lord.
get you back. I'm gonna get you back.
That's for not taking me on none of them trips.
I'm gonna take you on the cruise. I'm gonna take you on that cruise we got.
We all going on the cruise, Donna. We all going on the
Oh my
cruise.
God. Y'all are crazy. Y'all crazy. So, if you just tuning in, the topic for tonight is why we leave, why LGBT people separate from their family. So the ultimate question here is that, like, why? What are the reasons why we just walk the hell away? People want to know. They think it's all kinds of reasons we want to have super sex and do all kinds of wild and crazy stuff. Why do we leave? Let's go with Dre. Why do we leave? You are mute.
To be sane. They read my lips perfectly. Trust me. To not lose what little bit of sanity we have. The same way we walk away from toxic relationships, the same way we walk away from friends who don't mean us no good, the same way you walk away from deadbeat family members. Baby, protect your sanity. Because you only get one sane life. And when you lose that last mind snaps, you don't have time to deal with people's foolishness. So, in order for you to remain sane, get away, get out,
Get out.
get out, run like hell. Run like you was Peter when you looked down and seen that you was actually walking on water, and Peter run.
Right. Oh, that's right.
Run like Miss Celie in The Color Purple when she seen Nettie across the field. Run. But
Right.
in all actuality, you only have I have learned you only have one good chance to control and to maintain your peace. And that has to be important. That your peace is so valuable because it will determine your outcome. You can't survive without peace. I don't care what nobody tell you. And that's why I was so adamant about answering the question to the young man tonight, because at that age his peace is valuable. And the worst thing you can be is stuck in the older age thinking you still young because you forgot to protect your peace. You know, I say all the time, we got enough old children out here. Control your peace, baby. There's enough grown ass children. I'm so tired of hearing people say, but I'm grown. No, baby, you not. Your age is. Your age is. But if
You're
if
right.
you look at your mentality and you look at the way you live your life, your mentality and your life don't add up to your age. Somewhere along the line, there has been an unequal yoke. And so protect your peace. Leave. If you have to leave, leave. What the hell? Leave. Sleep at night in whatever room or apartment you get in. Sleep naked and enjoy the evening breeze. Leave. And if you need support, we got your back. And I ain't scared. Yeah. All right, Peach, come on, take this mic back, girl.
Donna.
I agree with Drake. Yeah, because you don't want to be 17 or 18 ending up in jail killing a family member, you know? So you gotta protect your peace. You gotta have that you gotta, you want respect. So if you at home and your family is disrespecting you and ridiculing you and abusing you, you gotta run. You gotta get out of there, because you don't deserve that just because you want to be who you want to be and you want to live your life. Just yeah, there's things out there that you resources you think you can find, things you can like I said, other family members, friends, or just, at 17, it's hard. It's hard to say to be on your own. I mean, you can find the resources. Some of them don't know. They don't know the resources to go to. They don't know who to talk to, and it could be scary out there, especially if you've been underneath your mom and dad roof for a long time, and then you get just booted out. It could be very hard and scary. So, but I'm saying, when you're not welcome, you gotta go. You can't just stay somewhere and not be welcome. You won't have peace. You won't be happy, and then that's when you start doing things that you're not thinking. So yeah, just I don't know. It's hard, especially at a teenage age. It's hard to just say go and find this and do this, especially if they've been underneath their mom, dad roof all their life. So, but it's workable. You can find resources, but you just don't sleep on them streets, and don't just trust everybody.
Thank you, Donna. All right, Tim.
I think it's 100% your peace of mind. Protecting your peace is everything. And the older I got, I learned that. Me being the only male in my household growing up, a lot of responsibilities were put on me to show up for all of the women at all times, and that was how I was raised. So that was just what was naturally bred in for me to do. But, as time went on, I noticed that even though I was always the one that showed up, the other males in the family were given more respect than I was, and these people weren't showing up for nobody, See, here I am, even after I was thrown out of the household, I was still showing up I was still paying bills in my family's household until I was in my early 30s. I was still coming home with school clothes and Christmas clothes. And, when something went wrong, the first thing my mother would do was call me to talk to my younger siblings. But I still wasn't given the same respect as the rest of the males in my family. My first job was 13. I had a paper route, and after I became old enough to work, I pretty much fended for myself. My grandmother gave me a place to live. And yes, my grandmother would do anything for me, but she never had to because I was already on top of my shit. 15, 16, I was traveling state to state, So by the time I got my first apartment when I was at that time in Maryland, you could get an apartment when you were 3 months before your 18th birthday. You legally could get an apartment of your own in your own name. Once I got my first apartment, that opened the world to me. I realized that I could fend for myself, and as much as I wanted my family, I didn't need my family. So the next thing for me to do was to move to another state, and then I moved to another state. And it seemed like the further I got away from my family, the better my life was, the more peaceful my life was. And my life became my own for the first time in my life, because I spent most of my teen years fending for my family, So I think getting out the right way, thank God that I had somebody in my life that held me up while I was preparing to get out there on my own. But had it not been for my grandmother, I just would have been ass out at 13. And a 13-year-old in the streets trying to figure out life is not a good thing. I got into a lot of bad things. I was just the smarter of my crew that never got caught doing the things that I was doing. So by the time I was 17, 18, I'd stepped away from all the illegal stuff. And, I was ready to move on and fend for myself. But so many young people don't get those opportunities to prepare. It's just like 1 minute you're in a semi-safe environment with food and shelter, then the next minute you're out on the street trying to figure out how you're going to live. It's adults out here that still haven't figured out how to take care of themselves and how to live. Can you imagine how terrifying that is for a 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old child to be tossed out in the streets when everything had been provided for them prior to that, just because of how they are? How our families treat us as gay people is so similar to how Caucasians treat us for being black. And our families discriminate against us the same way that racists and the Ku Klux Klan discriminates against black-skinned people. And they don't see any error in that. They don't see any flaw in that. And those of us who grew up in small areas, because I grew up in Salisbury, Maryland, and that is a racist little hole.
Wow.
That is a racist little hole. And, you know, to have to deal with your family, the rejection from being gay, then living in a racist environment where everything is set up to hold you back. And in smaller areas, the racism isn't as disguised as well as it is in larger cities.
Right.
You know, so yeah, it's absolutely peace of mind to get out on your own and to get away from that abuse and to get away from that trauma, you know. And the sad part about it is our families don't feel like they're abusing us, and our families don't feel like they're traumatizing us when they really are. You know, most of the damage that happens to us happens at home before we even get out into the streets. So yeah, it's definitely for peace of mind.
Yeah, and also the mother and fathers, they'll go to church and praise God while their child is on the street fending for themselves. Picture that.
When you decide to lay down and open your legs or thrust your manhood, when you bear a child, that is a lifelong commitment. It's not just until you get tired.
Exactly.
It's your job to find a way. Just like I said previously, accepting your child does not mean letting your child come into your household and do any and everything. That's not what accepting your child and supporting your child is. Not throwing your child to the woods, not abusing your child mentally more than anybody else in this world. That's what that means. You know, some of y'all destroy your kids before your kids even know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes them right for the picking when you throw them out in this world. When you throw them out in the door, you are throwing them to the wolves. And then you are so upset about how they come back home.
Yeah, the Hunger Games.
And is something wrong with them? No, it's something wrong with you for doing that to your child. Is something wrong with you for giving up on your child? Is something wrong with you for torturing your child?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't disrespect gay out of a person. You can't. That's my answer.
Yeah.
Ooh. That was a lot.
Yes.
Just to add on to what you said, Tim, that was absolutely awesome. But I think parents get it confused. It's your job to mold us into great human beings. It's not your job to dictate who we are.
Exactly.
You got to know the difference. As long as we're great, we're doing the right thing, and we're still able to wake up in our own skin and look in the mirror and say, this is me, this is who I am, and I'm proud of me, then you did an awesome job. Everything else is everything else, man. I don't get it. But to answer the question why we leave, I agree with everybody up here. Um, Peace of mind, mental health, but I would like to add to that exploration. We got to get away from you and your rigid thoughts about what couples should look like. You know, social norms, a man and a woman and a man. for us to just get out, explore, and see exactly who we are and what we like. Like, and I wonder, some of these parents that's single for breaking up and be single for 15 years, 16 years. I wonder, do they even know who they are and what they actually enjoy? So I think that's the beauty of being LGBTQ plus. You actually take on the world and you go out and you say, you know what? I know that I'm different. I just don't know what it is. And I'm just gonna get out here and try. And I think, that's awesome. That's an awesome thing. So yeah, I like to add exploration. We try different things until we get to the perfect little label that sums us up. Tim did it last season. And I just love that for us. Because again, heterosexual people, y'all are not that brave.
What's that?
y'all are y'all are not
I,
that brave.
what's heterosexual? What's that?
You may not even be heterosexual, but
Yeah,
you
what
just
is that?
opted in. You just opted into the
What is,
program because it's just
what is
easier.
heterosexual?
No,
Yeah.
we're the rebels. We just decide, you know what? Let's get out here
Yeah.
and see.
All right.
Oh, all right. So I have two more questions and then we are done. So this one is a little touchy. Suicide is the permanent leave.
Mm,
Let's help our viewers understand
mm,
why we may get to that point. Now we done left you mentally, and now we ready to exit out physically. We just ready to be done with it all. How do we get to that point? Maybe we can reach some people today. And you don't have to disclose if you ever thought about doing that. Who would like to go first? Donna?
That's tou- that's touchy. I mean, like you said, suicide is one of the easiest fix than to deal with life. Even if it's even just normal, regular people um that aren't in the community. It's an easy way out than to deal with life and what's going on around them. And sometimes it's suicide is heavy, and it's like they don't have nobody to turn to. That's the majority of the time when people do commit suicide, when they at their ends with, and they don't really have nobody to turn to, nobody to talk to, nobody to understand them, and they just want to leave this earth because it'll be better than being here and to be gone and don't have to deal with all the pressure, the drama, the hurt, the pain. So it's an easy fix and it's an easy way out. And it don't mean that they're weak. It's just they tired. They just don't know what else to do. So the only way that's the only way to leave and not deal with the consequences of people not respecting them, loving them, especially when it comes to family, your mother and father who brought you into this world to this, to turn their back on you. That's I would never want to I would never want to have to deal with that. I never had to, but I know there's people out there that have to, and I know it'd be the hardest thing. Well, that's it.
Thank you, Donna. Anybody else want to take this one on?
mm.
Tim? Or did Donna just say it for us?
No, I have something to add. Someone who, over the last 3 decades, has seen so many people leave here by suicide. I think it's something that really bombards our lifestyle because there are those that leave their family's household, and when they step into the lifestyle, they expect all of these, they expect all of this acceptance, and it doesn't always work out that way. You know, some people pick the wrong door or the wrong option, meaning they surround themselves with the wrong people, and instead of life becoming more clear, life becomes more heavy. um Me, as a young man, I was curious about religion. So I didn't just read. I was brought up in a Christian household, but I had family members that were Muslim, and I had family members that were Jehovah's Witnesses. And in all three of those religions, it said the same thing regarding suicide. The reward for suicide is eternal hell's fire. And that terrified me so much that suicide was never an option for me, because regardless what earthbound pain that you endure, eternal hell's fire is much worse. But yet we have so many people who, they just get pushed to that point where they feel like no one loves me, no one accepts me, I'm a failure. Maybe it'll be better for me to not be here. And their belief is that that's the end of the pain. And my reading may be wrong. These religions may be wrong, but from my reading and studying, worse suffering wasn't an option for me. But to see the beautiful and kind people that have left here because of the pressures of their family and the damage caused by their family relationships and the abuse in their households, and then stepping out into this world, and whether you're gay, whether you're bisexual, whether you're poly, whether you're pan, that pain is, everybody doesn't have the same thresholds and endurance for pain. Everybody doesn't believe that storms, if you endure through storms, eventually it's going to stop raining. Some people just get to that point where they just can't take it anymore. Nobody loves me, nobody accepts me. It'd be better off if I'm not here. And I've seen dozens of people leave here because they just didn't feel loved from any direction, from anybody. And that's painful. It's painful to watch, it's painful to live. It wasn't an option for me because of my beliefs, but there are so many people that have left here believing that the pain will be over. And that's sad. That's painful. Just to think about some of the types of people that are left here, and when you see so many pieces of shit still walking around, and these beautiful people are gone because no one will give them the benefit, no one will give them the shadow of the doubt. No one was brave enough to step out of the family and say, if nobody's going to love you, I'm going to love you. That's my answer.
Thank you, Tim. You ready, Andre?
I am. Um, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Some people make life difficult to love them, and so for those people, this ain't for you. But for the ones, because if I heard the question correctly, Peach said, "What do you say to the person who is contemplating suicide?" Tim taught something right there. If you commit suicide, your pain will not end, but you will commit. I don't care what belief you have. I don't care if you're Buddhist, Muslim, Hinduism, atheist, Wiccan, Christian. If you commit suicide, you commit your soul to eternal pain, eternal conflict. That's what damnation is. But there's hope in the midst of your pain. Paul said, I'm cast down, but not destroyed. David said, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning.
Yeah.
Paul said, I reckon that the suffering of this present time can't be compared to the glory which shall be revealed. There is word and there is hope. The joy, the hymn writer picked it up. The joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me, and the world can't take it away. There is more in you. Why? Because the word says you're more than a conqueror. So you were built, you were created to go through hell. You were created to endure pain. You were created how? Because in the Bible, it says in the book of Genesis that man who was born of a woman shall surely die, but his days shall be filled with misery. Why? Because we were sinful from nature in the beginning, but there's hope to your story. There is hope to your pain. There is, and for some folk, let me be honest with you, it starts with you making the decision to change your ways. Many of us that are going through hell go through hell because we want to be whatever it is in our mindset that we are, but it wasn't who we were chosen to be. And one thing for certain, the two is for sure. Please understand that the same God who was a jealous God in Genesis was the same God who was a jealous God in Revelation. Even in Surah, it says the same exact thing, is that you have experienced a creator who wants your life to be patterned in what he governed it to be. I didn't mean to go here tonight, Peach, but you asked me. So what do we say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? You got to find what it is in yourself that makes you get up every morning and say, I can make this. Stop perpetrating a fraud. Stop acting like everything is okay. If you know you need help, get the help that you need. Don't keep destroying your life. Don't keep saying, well, the hell with it. And whatever gonna happen, baby. If you want to keep playing with the devil, in hell, you will lift up your eyes. But when you are going through and you have no other way and no other idea of which way to turn, and when it feels like everybody has stabbed you in the back, and when it feels like you can't pick up the phone to call nobody, I challenge you, get down on your knees and talk to the friend who sticks closer than a brother. He will never fail you. He will never turn his back on you. He will never destroy you, and he will tell you which way to go. The problem is, if you're going to come to him, you need to be prepared to listen, because David said, if you're going to pray, don't worry, and if you're going to worry, don't pray. But if you're going to turn from your wicked ways, you got to be okay with understanding it has to be a new direction. It has to be a new flow. And sometimes that flow is cutting off what has held you back. Many of us are too in tune with being sucked dry. And it's time for us to understand that that season is over. I don't know who's watching tonight. I don't know who this is for, but I can promise you one thing, baby. When you are tired of crying your last tear, you will turn your life to God. You'll say, you know what? I don't even know who you are, but since you created me, you deal with this. You handle this, and then let it go. And watch what God does. How do I know? Because I've been there. How do I know? Because I still got the knife marks in my wrist. I still got the knife marks on my neck. I got a bad heart to this day from all the chemicals that I put in my body. But because he kept me, there's another reason for me to be here and still give him glory. You got to understand, my friend, who you are. You got to understand that there's nothing on this earth that can stop you from being who God has created you to be. Peter gave up on God when he turned his back on God and he denied God. But God said, and I still say to you, Peter, that upon this rock I should build my church. Why? Because you were the realest thing in the vineyard. You was the one that wasn't scared to defend me. You was the one that was never scared to say who I was. And I'm telling you, my friend, tonight, you are going to make it. You just got to give up from trying to do things by yourself. It's not about you anymore. It's never been about you. It's not even about the people who have hurt you. If they hurt you, let them go. If they're not taking you to where you're trying to go in life, let it go. If it's not doing nothing but causing harm to your body, give it up. But if you're going to keep messing around in hell, baby, don't get mad when the fire burns you.
Woo.
It's a new, we are too close to the return of our Savior. We are too close for people to continue to say, I'm tired of going through this without having a valid option. Yes, the church will fail you. Yes, your family will fail you. Yes, your friends will fail you. Yes, people that you thought always had your back will fail you. But let me ask you a question. When do you stop failing you?
I would just like to say, I need you to give that word more often during this program, because that brought everything home. And I'm gonna need you. I know this isn't the gospel hour, but I'm gonna need you to do that a little more often during these programs when a point needs to be made, because that brought it home.
Yep. Wonderful.
Because everything I experienced pushed me closer to God. Everything I experienced pushed me closer to God. And I would be a complete lie if I didn't say that God is not the reason why I'm sitting here. God is the only reason why I'm sitting here. God is the only reason why I made it through. So I'm going to need you to do that a little more often. Okay, brother?
Yeah. Amen.
Won't he do it?
Hey, yes, he will.
Thank you, Dre. Thank you. Because I do believe, when I wrote the question, I said, it's one of those questions that y'all don't like me to ask, but I had to ask it. And I'm glad everybody responded. But, the ultimate thing here is suicide is a permanent leave. And what gets us there is because we decided to give up on ourselves. We decided to not fight for us. And then we allowed the words of everyone else cloud our judgment, and it becomes weight until it weighs you all the way down. So you got to get to a point where you got to fight. Being LGBTQ is not for the weak. Even though they call us weak, even though they call us fairies and all kinds of weak whatever and sugarfoots and all that, this lifestyle is not for the weak. We are strong, but you got to fight. And I agree with Tim. Dre brought it all the way home. So I'm just summing it up for you in layman's terms, just in case you're not religious. But yeah, you got to fight. It's a constant fight.
It
Do
is.
y'all agree with that? Being in this community is a constant fight.
Yeah, true.
Absolutely.
A fight to validate who you love, validate your feelings, validate your identity. Hell, I'm sure me and Tim got to fight heterosexual people and people in the community to be who we are.
Bro, the discrimination, the amount of jobs that I done lost, you just, if it's definitely not for the weak. It's definitely not for the weak.
Definitely not for the week. And Andre will be the clip of the week. I will be putting that up as a clip.
Hey,
But
yes.
that is all of my questions. We are up here, panel. What did y'all think about this subject? How do y'all feel? Did you learn anything? What did you get from it? Go ahead, Donna. You got the floor.
I don't want to cry no more. So, yeah, I love this topic. Um, it really it opened my eyes to a lot of things, you know. But especially with the when we got the 17-year-old, that really hit hard, and I'm glad they chimed in, and so we can give them some advice. But I think the show it went well, and yeah, I'm a Cancer, so I'm emotional. So sorry, I'm a Cancer, so I get a little emotional. So, but I enjoyed the show. I did enjoy the show. And then thank you, Dre. That helped me too. That up. Thank
All
you very
right.
much.
We gonna get to Tim, then we gonna let Dre bring us on home. Tim, what did you get from it? How do you feel about the show?
It just got a chance to. It was basically a release, and hopefully, it's a release that will touch every heterosexual person that is still trying to learn about what the LGBTQ is and what it's about, and that we're human and we go through the exact same things as everybody else. And a lot of times our weight is much heavier. And regardless how you look at us, a lot of people looked at us, as it was said previously, like fairies and pansies. But a lot of people don't realize just how strong that we have to be to hold our heads up, because the weight on our shoulders is 3 or 4, more heavier than the average person who is heterosexual. I think this was a good show. It was a really it was a well thought topic, and we worked it, and Dre sealed it.
Yes.
All right, Dre.
Can I just say, I'm humbled, but I take no glory in that. Um, Tim was talking and something smacked me. Let me just be real. Tim was talking. Donna, when Donna broke, it actually hit me. Um, because you picked somebody up, and I don't know who you picked up in your spirit, but I'm hearing that person is okay. That smacked me. And then Tim talked, and something hit me, and I don't take any glory in that, because I don't play when it comes to my ministry. I have been called a fake preacher too many times for my own good. But I've been down suicide's road, and I personally have knocked on hell's door, and I have died 3 times. So I don't take life for granted. The last time I died, the doctor told my mother to get my plans in order. And I told that doctor, the way I walked into this hospital, I'm walking out of this hospital. I don't take this life for glory, for any type of vain glory. It's not, I had to learn the hard way. It's no longer about me. But as long as I'm on this show, I'm on this show for somebody to understand there is a greater way. It's a greater way. And if you've never prayed before, just pray tonight. Just talk to him. It don't gotta look a certain way. You ain't gotta sound a certain way. You ain't gotta hook it and hit all through your prayer. Just talk. Just a simple talk will make it all right. But when it gets too heavy, remember, he promised us he would never put more on us than we can bear. Yeah, it's heavy. Yeah, it's weighing you down. But he's talking to you and he's asking you, what is it you need to give up for him not to give up on you? Not about me. But while I have your attention, we have the Canvas and Cocktails coming now in May. You can visit our IMEcorp.org website to get more information about that. And then in March of 27, we have the IME cruise coming via Virgin Cruise Line. It's an adult only cruise. It's 4 days. We're going to Bimini. We're going to Bahamas. We're going to Miami. We're going to have some. I believe we're going to Key West. We're going to have some fun, and we want you to be a part of that. So definitely, if you've never been to IMEcorp.org, this is the perfect time to go. And I promise we got more things coming that's going to blow your mind like it's never blown your mind before. For those who counted us out, thank you.
Right.
Thank you. For those who had so much to say this year and last year, thank you.
Right.
Thank you. We love you. We're so glad you did it. Because there is so much more in store. And for those who are watching that are just going through some things, I put my life on the line when I tell you the best is yet to come. Be still, hear clear, hold strong, and wait for your wings. Because he promised us that they that wait shall mount up and they shall soar. Peach.
All right, y'all. This was a powerful show.
Yes.
And I think the message that I wanted to convey, we all conveyed it tonight. The show was designed to impact heterosexual people so they can gain a greater understanding of us. It's always about them walking away and thinking they're going to change us. But you're changing us in a way that can be very detrimental. So I flipped it so you could gain more understanding of us. And hopefully I'm praying that somebody hears this. Here's Dre, here Donna, see Donna with the emotions, here Tim. And if you have a child or a loved one that you just can't accept, I hope tonight that you choose to change your perspective. And we can help you with that. Reach out to IMEcorp.org if you want to sit down and talk to someone from the community. We have done it before. Via Zoom, I'm willing to even pay for a space for you to sit down and talk to gain some understanding. But we have to come together and we have to change this. I don't think people understand the actual impact that negativity has. It's about as much as the same way as love. So tonight, my message, like I said, Dre said it all, but my message to everybody is to choose love. Stop choosing everything else. Love doesn't harm to anybody. So with that being said, this is our episode panel. Do y'all have any final words y'all want to say to these families, to anybody? Mine is just choose love. Choose to be loving.
Mine, what I would have to say is stop worrying about what people who have absolutely no real effect on your household and your children Stop letting these people's opinions and your fear of these people's opinions ruin your children. Because a lot of the things that are done because these parents don't want to be judged because of how their kids turned out. Your children are a part of you. But more importantly, none of these kids asked to be here. You sit down and you did the work to get these kids here, and that's your responsibility to navigate them and protect them until they're old enough to be out of your household. Now, after they're out of your household, how you choose to live and how you choose to think and how you choose to treat them, that's on you. At least give these kids a fighting chance at surviving, because throwing them to the wolves is not the answer. Now you think that gays are weak, and in all actuality, it's the families that are raising these gay kids that are weak as hell. And you value the opinions of strangers over the well-being of your own child. That has to stop. Or some of y'all need to stop having kids. Point blank, period. If you're not ready for anything that may become of that child, then you need not invest in having kids, because just giving up and throwing your kids away is not an option. You're throwing your kids in the trash. You are diminishing their potential to be a productive part of society. You are killing these kids' self-esteem. You are destroying these kids' mental health. All of the fingers that you're pointing at these kids, you need to stand in the mirror and look at yourself. Because these kids aren't the weak ones. It's you parents that are throwing your kids away over opinions of people that don't mean anything to you. Cherish your kids. Learn how to love your kids, even if it isn't the Brady Bunch narrative, even if you don't have the personal child. The perfect child, excuse me. When you sit down and you make the decision to have a child, that child is your responsibility until they're old enough to get out your door. I've said several times during this podcast, loving your kids is not always accepting everything that they decide that they want to do. Loving your kids is giving your kids the tools to survive in this world so that they have a fighting chance. Because a lot of you are throwing your children away without giving them a fucking fighting chance. It's not your children that are trash. It's you that are fucking trash when you toss your kids away without giving them the tools to navigate in this cruel ass fucking world. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. That's my answer.
Dre, you got anything you want to close out with?
The one thing God despised was the shedding of innocent blood. Tim said it properly. When you take away someone's chance, you just shed innocent blood. Think this way. I would hate for you to do all of this good preaching you say you do, all of this good living you say you have, and still end up in hell for failing at the one assignment that you should have never failed at, and that's being a parent.
All right. All right, y'all. So let's wave off to our viewers and let them know we'll see them next Tuesday at 8 p.m. if you decide to come back, because we said a lot tonight.
And love your
If you can't
kids.
stand the heat,
And,
get out the kitchen.
and that myth of us all gay people, we are pedophiles. That's a myth. We're not.
Oh Lord.
We're not. That's
Down,
why y'all act like when your children say
down.
they're gay, that they are going to be like that to maybe the children in the house. We're not. No, it's more them other ones that are more pedophile than we are. We are loving and caring. We don't want to harm children, and we don't want to. Nah, we're not like that. So stop thinking like that. That's why you want to throw your kids out the house. No, don't do that. Love your child until they old enough to take care of themselves.
Right.
Woo! That's all I can say. Well, everybody, thank y'all for tuning in to In Black. Please visit imecorp.org. Join us next Tuesday around 8 p.m. ish for our next topic. I would try to keep the questions very light.
No,
Don't
no,
go
no,
light. Don't go light.
no. This is what they tuning in for. This is what they need. A
Yeah,
couple of
they need it
teaspoons
raw
full of.
and uncut.
Oh, Lord. All right. Well, everybody have a good night. We love
All
y'all.
right,
See
everybody. Good
y'all
night.
next
All right.
Tuesday. Good night.
All right.
Good night.